Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, looking at the economic calendar this week, I know today is the 4th of July. We have today off, which is good. Then we have a short week, obviously. Wednesday, we have a JOLTS job opening report at 10 a.m. We have FOMC at 2 p.m. No Powell this week, so it's not going to really matter if Powell speaks or not. It's going to move the market. I've noticed that the market seems to move just as much, if not maybe more, when Powell does not speak. So that doesn't mean anything. So we will play FOMC regardless of what Powell's doing anyway. So yeah, we should get some good movement. I don't know what to expect. It's it's gonna be pretty much a coin flip. Inflation's still going up. They obviously gonna raise interest rates. I just don't know. Maybe they're gonna backpedal on what the future is gonna look like. But they're gonna talk more about projections at the end of the month, because I know that the real FOMC, where Powell and projections come, I think is like the 27th, I believe. Yeah, the 27th. So this one's just it's not really much of a big factor, but it doesn't really matter because it will move the market. So with that said, I don't see anything else. We get unemployment rate and non-farm employment change on Friday. So a couple of economic numbers on Friday, but should be probably a short, choppy week, I'm thinking, except for FOMC. So we'll have to see what happens. So the tickers I'm going to watch, I have a few tickers I'm just going to keep an eye on. Obviously, SPY. We'll have to see which way SPY is going to go, because right now, I'm just looking at the futures right now, trying to pull it up. My other chart, it's down. Well, it was down quite a bit, like 20 points, but it's V-rallied since then, so... But anyway, SPY, we'll have to see what SPY opens up tomorrow. Right now, I'm thinking, we probably will get some kind of like a run into FOMC. I'll be looking at it for either direction. I mean, over 380. Let's see, over 383, we could probably get a push to 390. We get a gap fill up here at 395 to 400. I was really surprised when we made this run last week that we did not go for that gap fill, and we just kind of stalled out at the 390 level, 391, 392, and just didn't really go for that gap fill right here. So maybe this week we'll make that gap fill in before we actually go lower, but we'll have to see what happens. It's going to be all dependent on what's happening with the news and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be watching it over. Let's see, 383. My eyes are having a hard time adjusting. 385, 390, 395. If it gets over this 395, I would think that this time they would fill the gap, but I'll also be watching it on the short side too, under 375. Get 370, 365. This is where it's the last time where it so-called bottomed right here, right around the 360 area. But we'll have to see. In order for the market to actually kind of recover and bottom, inflation needs to flatten, at least show some sign of flattening, or at least cooling off. Or otherwise the rates are just going to keep going up, and the inflation is going to keep going up, and the market's going to keep dumping. So that's going to be pretty much the thing I'll be looking for, is once the inflation starts flattening, we might actually see an actual bottom. But I'm not going to be calling no bottom. It's premature right now. I don't think the bottom is going to come in until at least we hit 350. So we'll have to see what happens. Costco. is another one. The one thing I really like about Costco, I mean, the daily is really starting to shape up. I mean, it gets over this 487 area, 490 area. It could get some steam behind it. And Costco, when it starts breaking out, ends up making some really strong moves. So I would definitely be watching Costco. And it's kind of got like a cup handle and another handle. It's got kind of a weird pattern going here on here. You can also see it's an ascending triangle. You can see it's making higher lows. This is flat topping right here at the 490 area. So definitely keep an eye on Costco. Costco can make a nice quick run to 500, 510, 520. Costco has these major runs when it breaks out like right here. What was the low on that? 457 to 491. I mean, that's made almost a $40 move right there. Well, $35 move right there. So we could definitely see a $30 move out of Costco if it breaks out, or a $40 move very easily. So definitely keep an eye on that. Netflix, definitely keep an eye on earnings seasons coming up. It likes to make earning runs, earning run ups. It hasn't in a while. In the last 3 or 4 earnings, it has not made a run up into earnings. I think this was the last one. Okay, 2 earnings. So this one it kind of made a little bit of run up. So I'm thinking it might actually run up this time now that Stranger Things put out a new season this past week and crashed in Netflix service. So they're showing there's a huge demand for it. So we'll have to see if it will make an earnings run up on Netflix. So I would watch it over, let's see, 182. We're pushed 185, 190. It gets over this 192, 193 area. It's got room to 200, 205, 210. So Netflix could have a very strong run. Gap resistance right here is at 246, 245. I highly doubt it's going to break that on the first shot. So, but earnings run-ups end up being pretty good on Netflix. Let's see if it does actually end up happening. I would imagine that Stranger Things coming out is going to definitely help it, because every time Stranger Things comes out with a new season, Netflix tends to pop on it. We'll have to see if that actually happens or not this time. Shop is another one. Shop just keeps getting beaten down, and I'll be watching it. I mean, it's down so much. It's so ridiculous. So I'd watch it over 32. We're pushed to 30, basically every whole dollar. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 is where it seems to kind of top off a little bit. So it did have a reverse split. That's why it doesn't look like it moves much, but it does move quite a bit. So this $40 level, it gets over that. I mean, we could definitely see some strong moves, but we'll have to see if the market will have any strength behind it and let it run. Tesla is another one. I got burned on Tesla last week, but you know, I'm just thinking that it's on the daily. You get a symmetrical triangle right here. I don't know. I can go either way right here, so I'll be watching it either direction. You know, underneath 636, 635 for push down to the 600. So I'll be watching underneath this low on the hourly right here. And on the upside, you know, I'll watch it over this area right here of 700. Or you can even say this high right here of 690. But literally right here, it's a towing cost on which way it's going to go. I mean, EV sales are doing well, and as far as, I don't know about Tesla's numbers, but Tesla's, I think they have numbers coming out too, if I remember correctly, or not unless they already have. But they have more competition, and you would think that Tesla would end up going down, but Tesla is just one of those stocks where it just defies the odds. It has more competition, lays off workers, lays off more employees, and yet it goes up. So Tesla is just one of those crazy things where it could go either way, and ignore the bad news like SPY does, and we'll just have to see what happens with that. But yeah, I'll be watching Tesla in either direction, because I think it's poised to make a strong move because it's in a triangle right now. I mean, the triangle could tighten up, and the move could not happen until next week, but we'll keep an eye on it and just see what happens. Amazon is another one. Now I'm thinking Amazon we might get a pop out of Amazon. That will also depend on what SPY is doing, but we have a head and shoulders on the daily at the left, the head and the right shoulder. So it'd be hard to see Amazon under 100, but never say never. I mean, it could definitely happen. I don't think anybody expected to see Amazon take the dump that it dumped right back here, but that's just the way it is. So it definitely could go. The head and shoulders definitely could work out, end up going below 100, but I'd keep an eye on it over 110 to 112, 115, 117, and this is where it kind of stalls out a little bit right around this 117, 118 area, and get pushed to 120, 125, even to 130. I think it needs to get over this 117 area in order to take out the head and shoulders and get up to the 125, 130 area to really void out that head and shoulders. But either or, it could end up playing out. So just keep an open mind on that it's there. Just because what we want to see and what we expect could be two different things. I mean, the market just does what it wants to do and just doesn't really care. Now, Microsoft's the last one I'm looking at. Same thing. Microsoft's got kind of like a cup and handle thing kind of forming. You know, you get the cup right here and you get a little handle. So you can see it on the daily right here and right here. So if it does manage to get over this 265 area, 266, we could see a strong move out of Microsoft, assuming the market is doing well and is strong. So I have no idea what the market's going to do tomorrow. Right now the market's down, so it's going to be pretty much data dependent, news dependent. So who knows what's going to end up happening. We'll just take it day by day. That's why you need to be in the room, and we'll just take it based on the news and how it looks in the morning. But yeah, I mean, this cup and handle does play out. I mean, it gets over 270, we could end up seeing a push to 275, 280, 290. So I almost said Netflix. Microsoft is not like being under the 250 area, because I've been saying that for a while. It gets underneath 250, it bounces right up. But right here, I get under 250 for I don't know, a couple days, a few days right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. But yeah, definitely be watching Microsoft. Microsoft looks like it could end up having a strong move. So that's going to do it for the watch list. I know I rambled on a little bit. My mind's kind of like doing 50 things at once, trying to absorb everything from the weekend. So that's going to do it. I hope to see you in the room, and thank you for watching.